And Fox News contributor Newt Gingrich joins me now. He's also the author of a new book, Trump versus China, Facing America's Greatest Threat. Not too much discussion about China in these moments, but we'll get back to that in time. Newt, good to see you tonight. Thank you for being here. I want to start with, we've got the outlines now because we have this resolution that Nancy Pelosi and the House are going to vote on Thursday that lays down the rules as they see them, and they've had a lot of pushback from Republicans about the way they've handled this process so far. What do you think about the rules as you see them now?
Well, I was looking at their proposed resolution. I thought it was very appropriate that she was bringing it up on Halloween because I think, frankly, it's a joke. And I think that Schiff probably ought to come on the floor as the Scarecrow. You'll remember in The Wizard of Oz, the Scarecrow has no brain. And it is Halloween. The fact is that they're not doing anything that's serious. Kevin McCarthy, the Republican leader, has already listed a whole series of things wrong with what they're doing. They're not giving the president real access for his lawyers. They're not allowing the Republicans to have real parity. They also are not releasing all the stuff. Remember, they've had months now of gathering secret information, totally controlled by Adam Schiff, and what is almost a Stalinist model of a closed system. All of that should become public as part of this. And they're basically trying to say, now that we've done all this work and laid all this groundwork and have all this secret information, now we want to talk about things. Part of the deal ought to be make available to the Republicans and to the White House every single memo, every email, every interview that they've undertaken in secret. And I think this totally fails the test that was sent by Lindsey Graham in the Senate.
Back on that, and a couple of things. I would imagine then they'll say, we'll give you everything as long as the White House turns over every document that we have requested in this process. I mean, and also Republicans have been saying for the past couple of weeks, we want to vote. Why is there no vote? Now you're going to get a vote on Thursday. Why is that? Why are those the two things not satisfying to you?
Well, the vote they're going to get is a charade. It's phony. I think what Republicans were saying and what the Lindsey Graham, Mitch McConnell resolution in the Senate said was they want an orderly process. They want real opportunities for the president and for the Republicans. The Bill of Rights in the Constitution guarantees us due process. This president has been denied due process. This is an unusual proceeding. Neither the Democrats in 1973 nor the Republicans in 1998 did anything as one-sided, secretive, and destructive as what Pelosi and Schiff have done. And you can go back and look at the record. You can read a terrific book by Congressman Jim Rogan called Catching the Flag. Those two terms, Democrat 73, Republican 98, were dramatically fairer than what Pelosi and Schiff are trying to do.
I mean, for one thing, the president has not had an attorney allowed to be part of this process, and that was the case in the prior impeachment processes. And also, the ranking members have very limited powers in the course of this resolution, and that is also very different in terms of the parity, as you say, in terms of the way they'll go through this process. They basically have to beg to get what they want. The ranking members, they don't just get it automatically. They've got to go through a process to get sort of equal time in this process. Let's switch over to the political side of this because Nancy.
But let me just ask you one. Let me just say one other thing, Martha.
Yeah.
Well, because today it was reported that actually Chairman Schiff has been telling witnesses not to answer Republican questions.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
You don't have to answer that.
People need to understand this is totally crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like he's the lawyer sitting next to the witness, right, who's saying, you don't have to answer that. When this is supposed to be a deposition process where you would have both sides available and everybody's basically taking notes and letting the person say what they want to say. That's the part of this process that we're at right now. And as you rightfully point out, the reports are that Adam Schiff is, telling, don't answer that. You don't have to answer that, which is just weird. So let's talk about the politics here, because Nancy Pelosi was resistant for quite some time on impeachment. So why do you think now she is moving forward? What has changed for her? And do you think she's made a smart calculation as a politician?
Well, no, I think they're now trapped in a dead end that they can't get out of. I think that the Lindsey Graham, Mitch McConnell resolution served notice that they had to do something, or was literally dead on arrival in the Senate. I think the White House blocking them and refusing to do things until there was a vote moved them. But she has a real problem. And I said months ago, having been Speaker of the House, she can probably pass this resolution if she's suicidal, but she's going to kill their majority. I mean, if you're Congressman Peterson and you're in northern Minnesota and you're in a 30-point Trump district, voting yes on Thursday basically is the end of your career. And you can go through district after district. The numbers when you go out to individual districts, you know, in Los Angeles and in New York, there's overwhelming support for this. But you go out into marginal districts held by Democrats that Trump either carried or came close, there's not support for this. You know, and I think that she will destroy her majority.
I mean, we all know from, you know, watching her and how she operates all these years, she's generally pragmatic. She's numbers oriented. She knows when she has the votes, when she doesn't have the votes. In this case, I think it's very interesting that she sort of wrested the project away from Jerry Nadler and gave it to Adam Schiff. Is she sort of setting him up here as the potential fall guy if it doesn't go their way?
No, I think Nadler failed so badly, and his 2 public hearings were so embarrassingly bad that she had to do something just to sort of reclaim the momentum. But here's the core problem. This is a sore loser impeachment process. 70% of the people who favor impeachment favored it the morning after the election. The fact is, we've never in American history had this kind of process where people are saying, I'm against Trump as a person. I don't care if he did something or not. Impeach him anyway. And so she has a huge base of her party that absolutely insist that they move forward on impeachment. And people like AOC now probably have more emotional power in the conference than Nancy does. She's presiding over it, but I don't think she anymore has the capacity to lead it. I think their left is leading it, and they're leading it, I think, in a disastrous direction.
Newt Gingrich, always good to talk to you, sir. Thank you for being here tonight.
Good to talk to you.
You too.